Welcome back to Jules Math Tools, where math is made easy. In our session today, we are converting a decimal number in the hundredths position into a proper fraction. So if you're ready, let's get started. A decimal number into a fraction. One of the ways that I usually will recommend you beginning is writing it out in words. Now, if you are able to change your decimal number into words and you're able to change fractions into words, then you can pretty much change your decimal number into a fraction. When writing my decimal number in words, it's simply going to be 17, which is what the number is, and I just put hundreds at the end. And that hundreds tells the person reading it, or it reminds me as I'm reading it, that this is a decimal number. And remember that with decimal numbers in words, if you're familiar with writing fractions into words, these two are pretty much the same thing. But both parts of these numbers represent a part of my fraction. So my 17 represents the number in my numerator, and the hundredths represents the number in my denominator. So as a fraction, this is just simply 17 100ths. 17 in the numerator, 100 in the denominator. And it's just that simple. Let's try another example. Feel free at this point to pause the video, convert your decimal number if you need to into words, and then change those words into its fraction form. Okay, so let's begin. In word form, my decimal number would be 21 hundredths. Remember, the number is 21. My 1 is in the last digit, so I'm simply going to add the hundredths, which is the position of my 1. And remember that with your parts, the 21 represents your numerator, and the hundredths represents your denominator. So as a fraction, this will be 21 100ths. 21 in your numerator, 100 in your denominator. Okay, so there you have it. We just converted our decimal number in the hundredths position into a fraction. And remember that once you can read it, you can write it. So that's why it's so important to practice writing your decimal numbers and your fractional numbers in their correct word form, because their link are so close together that it will help you with being able to change your digits from one form to the other. Okay, so make sure that you get some practice in with some additional numbers, and we'll be right here in the next video on Jules Math Tools, where we make math easy.